Hello everyone, welcome to VV Biology. I'm Ranjithkumar. In our previous video, we have started the lesson called the life process and we have discussed the introduction part in a detailed manner. So with the continuation of that, we are going to discuss the first life process today, which is nutrition. If you want to see that previous video, the part 1 of this life process lesson, I'll give the link in the top. Please watch the video for further better understanding. Let us get into the topic now. As we discussed earlier in the previous video, there are 4 different life processes. One is nutrition, second respiration, third transportation, and finally fourth one excretion. So nutrition is one of the very important life processes among the 4. So we'll discuss in a detailed way. Let us discuss the definition. The process of intake of food by an organism from its outer environment is known as life process. Very simple definition, right? Again, the process of intake of food by an organism from its outer environment is known as nutrition. Let us understand the definition properly. So, what is nutrition? Nutrition is nothing but a process. What is happening during this process? The organism intake of food. What is intake? What is intake? Intake is nothing but taking food from outer environment into the body of an organism is nothing but intake. What it is intaking? Intaking food, right? So from where it is intaking? From outer environment. So the process of intake of food by an organism from its outer environment is known as nutrition. So as we discussed in the previous video, each and every cell present in our body requires energy to do their regular activities. And energy is not present or not created in our body. It is available in the environment as a source of energy. We call it as a food. So this food from the outer environment need to be taken into the body to produce energy. So this process is nothing but nutrition. So very important 2-mark question. It can be asked in your board examination. If you are writing this question in the board examination, please don't forget to write these 2 key terminologies or keywords. One is intake of food. Another keyword is from its outer environment. If you are forgetting to write even any one of these keywords, definitely you will be losing marks. So please ensure that you are writing both the keywords in the board examination without fail. Right. Okay, sir, you are keep on saying that as food. What is food, sir? And what is the composition of the food that you have studied in your lower classes in the lesson called the components of the food. So when it comes to food, food is nothing but the source of energy, right? And the food has major components such as carbohydrates, proteins, and fat, right? Out of these 3, we have few more components which are present in the food, which is nothing but minerals, vitamins, salts and ions, and very importantly water. So a food contains all these substances as a component, right? And what is this food or carbohydrate, protein or fat is made up of? They are mainly made up of carbon. So carbon is a very important source or element or component of these food materials. So carbohydrates, proteins, fat or mainly consist of carbon. So they all are mostly carbon based molecules. Say for example, if you take glucose molecule C6H12O6. See, the glucose has the primary element as carbon. So carbon is a very important component of all these food materials, right? So I have a question. Do all the organisms living on the planet Earth intaking the food in the same way? Of course not, right? So different organisms will intake the food in a different way. On what basis it is differing? See, mainly this differences is based on the complexity of the carbon present in the food or in the ecosystem. So very important 1-mark question. On what basis the organism intaking food in a different way? So the answer is carbon complexity or complexity of the carbon, right? Let us discuss the different modes or types of nutrition found in different organisms. So different modes of nutrition. Modes nothing but types of nutrition. Generally, the nutrition in all the organisms classified into two major categories or two major modes. So one is autotrophic nutrition, another one is heterotrophic nutrition. So this classification is based on the capacity or ability to produce food. Certain organisms have ability to synthesize their own food by their own by using energy and some inorganic substances. Such kind of nutrition is nothing but autotrophic nutrition. See here, the word auto means self. So autotrophic nutrition in the sense intake of food, the process of intake of food. So autotrophic in the sense self synthesis of food. Certain organism by using some energy like light and using some inorganic substances, they will prepare their own food by their own. Such kind of nutrition is nothing but autotrophic nutrition. And heterotrophic nutrition, hetero, the word hetero means different. Hetero means different. So heterotrophic nutrition in the sense the certain organisms does not have ability to prepare their own food by their own. So instead, these organisms are depending on different other organisms to fulfill their food requirements. So such kind of or such mode of nutrition is nothing but called heterotrophic nutrition. Let us discuss each type of nutrition in a detailed way. When it comes to autotrophic nutrition, it is further classified into two different modes of nutrition. One is the photoautotrophic nutrition, another one is chemoautotrophic nutrition. This classification is based on the type of energy used by an organism to prepare their food, right? So first, phototrophic. See, photoautotrophic. Photo, the word photo means nothing but light. Photo means light. Certain organisms will use light as a energy and use some inorganic substances to prepare their own food by their own. So such kind of nutrition is nothing but photoautotropic. So here the energy source is light. So for example, all green plants and cyanobacteria. So all the green plants, they have green pigment. It absorbs light energy and then prepare their own food. So all the green plants and some cyanobacteria will come under photoautotrophic nutrition. Second one, chemoautotrophic nutrition. The word chemo, chemo, chemo means chemicals. Chemo means chemicals. So here, certain organisms will utilize chemicals as a source of energy. They will use some inorganic chemicals as a source of energy to prepare their own food by their own. So such kind of nutrition is nothing but chemoautotrophic nutrition. So they do not require light energy or any other source of energy. They require only certain inorganic molecules or chemicals to prepare their own food by their own. Say for example, methanogenic bacteria. Methano means methane. Genic means production. So methanogenic means certain bacteria will produce methane gas. So which are living there in the alimentary canal, particularly in the stomach of the cattle, such as buffalo, cow, goat, herbivores, particularly, right? So these bacteria, methanogenic bacteria, will help in the breakdown of cellulose present in the plant food materials, and that releases methane gas as a waste product, where they are using the chemical substances to prepare their own food by their own. They does not require light energy. And we can give one more example also, sulfur oxidizing bacteria. So these bacteria lives in volcanic offsprings. So this volcanic offsprings will contain more amount of sulfur released by the volcano. So this inorganic sulfur will be utilized by these sulfur oxidizing bacteria and produce their own food by their own. So this kind of nutrition is nothing but chemoautotrophic nutrition. Coming to another type, heterotrophic nutrition is further classified into three different types. One is holozoic nutrition, second one is parasitic nutrition, third one is saprophytic nutrition. When it comes to holozoic nutrition, see, holo means complete, the whole. So, certain organisms will intake the whole food, a complete food. Holo mean complete. Holo means complete. Certain organisms will intake a complete organic food into the body. Organic is complex molecule, right? So certain organisms will take complete organic food into the body, and inside the body these complex organic food materials will be broken down into simple inorganic substances. So such kind of nutrition is nothing but called holozoic nutrition. Say for example, amoeba. So first example given here is amoeba. Hope you know that amoeba is a unicellular eukaryotic protozoan animal-like organisms, right? So amoeba is one example, and many of the most of the higher animals, including human being, will come under holozoic nutrition, right? Coming to the second mode of nutrition, parasitic nutrition. So in this mode of nutrition, a particular organism or certain organisms will live on another living organisms, and they'll obtain energy from that particular organism without killing them. So this kind of nutrition is nothing but parasitic nutrition. In that, whichever the organism is living is called a parasite. Whichever the organism, so in this, whichever the organism is obtaining food is called as parasite, and whichever the organism is providing shelter and nutrition called as host. Understood? Say for example, the lice which are living in our head is a good example for parasitic nutrition. So the lice are living on our body and obtaining energy from our body without killing us, right? So this is parasitic nutrition, and few more examples can be given. One is tapeworm, roundworm, which are living in our intestine. So they are living in the intestine and obtaining energy from our body. Second, leech is another example for parasitic nutrition. It is an ectoparasite that live on the body. And another example is cuscuta. Cuscuta is a parasitic plant that lives on another green plant and obtains water, nutrients from the host organism or host plant. Right? Good. Third important mode of nutrition is saprophytic nutrition. In this mode of nutrition, certain organisms like fungi, mushrooms, they obtain nutrition from dead and decaying matter. Right? So after dead in the dead and decay, so these organisms will secrete some enzymes, digestive enzymes on the dead and decaying matter, and these enzymes will break down that carbon, complex organic matter into simple inorganic substances or nutrients. After breaking down, the fungi or the saprophyte will absorb only those nutrients into the body, and they will utilize them for their growth and development. So this mode of nutrition is nothing but saprophytic nutrition. So example, fungi and some decomposing bacteria. So this is all about the nutrition and the different modes of nutrition. Hope you have understood the topic, and if you have any doubts in the topic, please leave in the comment section. Let me give a clarity. And if you like the video, please like and do subscribe my channel, support my channel VV Biology. So thank you for listening. I'll meet you in the next video with the continuation of another topic. Thank you so much all of you. Thanks for the listening.